Desmond had been babysitting his little brother one evening when things took a terrifying turn. The toddler had suddenly started crying, not in the usual fussy way, but with a sharp fear in his voice. Desmond noticed the boy wasn't just upset, he was staring directly at the closet across the room, fixated, as if something inside had caught his attention. Wanting to calm him down and prove there was nothing to be afraid of, Desmond picked up his phone and began recording. He walked over to the closet and showed that it was completely empty, but just as he stepped back, the door suddenly slammed shut with force, startling both him and his brother. The moment left Desmond rattled, not just because of the slam, but because of how fixated his younger brother had been before it happened. He later admitted that he wasn't sure if the toddler had seen something he couldn't, but the timing felt far too precise to be coincidence. Since then, Desmond has been keeping a much closer eye on his brother and the closet, convinced that something in the house might be trying to make itself known. Conan Andrew was trying to get some rest late one night, but something in his room made sleep impossible. Like many people, he had always found Furbies a little unsettling, their blinking eyes and robotic voices never quite sitting right. Still, months ago he picked up a broken one from a thrift store, thinking of it more as a funny novelty than anything serious. For the longest time, it sat lifeless on a shelf, a harmless decoration. But that changed when Conan heard faint noises and noticed movement where there shouldn't have been any. The supposedly broken Furby began twitching and shifting on its own, the tiny motorized parts that hadn't worked in years suddenly sparking to life. For Conan, the experience was horrifying. The toy already carried an eerie reputation, and to see it come back to life in the middle of the night with no power source was beyond explanation. He admitted that he couldn't shake the feeling that he had brought something into his home the day he bought it, something attached to the Furby itself. That night left him rattled, convinced that this was no ordinary malfunction, but something far more sinister. Dakota had grown increasingly worried about her children after weeks of terrible night terrors that would wake them screaming in the middle of the night. It wasn't just the bad dreams that unsettled her, but it was the strange little details. Her daughter would sometimes look up toward the ceiling, smile, and say hi to what would have been nearly 7 feet above her, as if something tall was standing there. That alone was enough to make Dakota suspicious that something paranormal might be involved, but she never had proof. Wanting to put her mind at ease, she decided to record one night in hopes of catching anything unusual.
And I have like a post on Facebook and I'm like, hey guys, does anyone know like why this would happen? And a lot of people came up with these answers like, oh, it's the radio waves. And some people are saying it's designed, like those toys are designed to draw the attention of the kid. So I just let it go. I thought that maybe it was just designed to do that. Or maybe it was the radio waves. I just didn't pay much.
While filming the crib, a toy suddenly activated on its own, playing music and lighting up even though nobody was near it. Dakota nervously laughed it off afterwards, dismissing it as the toy simply trying to get attention the way children's toys are designed to. Still, deep down, she couldn't shake the fear that it was something more. The toy's sudden activation, paired with her children's ongoing terrors and strange behavior, left her uneasy. She later admitted that although she brushed it off for the camera, she felt that this could be the beginning of something much bigger happening in her home. After that first unsettling night, things only escalated. For 6 nights in a row, the toys in her children's room kept going off on their own, almost as if something was deliberately playing with them. It became routine for Dakota to be jolted awake by the sudden noises, her nerves wearing thinner each time. Finally, on the 6th night, she managed to catch it on camera.
Caught on camera was a piano, and on this piano, you have to touch multiple spots. You can't just touch one spot and the rest goes off. You have to touch multiple spots. And this piano was like, like just going off. So that freaked me out.
A toy in her child's play crib was making loud, repetitive beeping sounds, and when Dakota went to investigate, she found nothing that could have triggered it. No motion, no child near it, and no obvious malfunction. It was just going off entirely on its own. The aftermath left her deeply shaken. She admitted that it was one thing for a toy to light up once, but to have multiple toys act up over nearly a week felt impossible to ignore. If this video gets 200 likes, I will continue Dakota's story in the next video. Early one morning, a man was startled awake by strange noises echoing from downstairs. At first, he tried to brush it off, but when the sounds grew louder, he decided to grab his camera and investigate. As he entered the living room, something soft fell from the sofa, which he figured could have just slipped, so there was nothing too alarming. But moments later, a can sitting firmly on a desk suddenly toppled off on its own, and this time there was no clear explanation. Just as he was trying to make sense of it, the situation escalated as a nearby table tipped and crashed to the floor with force. That was enough to send him running back upstairs in panic. Later, he admitted that while the first fall didn't scare him, the chain of events that followed convinced him there was no way this was a coincidence. Now he says he's looking into hiring a ghost hunter to help uncover exactly what is happening in his home. A client had long suspected their home was haunted, so they turned to someone they trusted most, a relative who also happened to be a ghost hunter. Because of the family connection, the ghost hunter agreed to do the job for free, hoping to give their loved ones some peace of mind. On the night of the session, they set up in the living room with a candle flickering nearby and a Ouija board laid out between them.
All right. You ready for this? Have you ever done one before? It's not too hard.
I don't like messing with them because I know what they can do.
Well, a lot of times they're bad spellers. It takes them a minute or so to spell out what they're spelling. And you have to just touch your fingers to it easy. Not enough where you're going to unintentionally move it or whatever. Okay, just barely. You just barely want to make contact. And let it control it. You just follow it with your hands more or less, okay?
And we're doing this because what?
Because we're going to try to find out what's in this house. I don't know how else to try to contact it. We've got to find out what it wants.
Hurry.
I'm going to see if I can get it to leave us alone.
Let's go.
Okay.
Get this over.
Alright, you ready?
Yeah.
Whatever entity, spirit, demon, whatever you are, that's in my family's home, that's plaguing us and giving us hell, please identify yourself or tell us what you want, what it'll take to leave me and my family and our home alone and never return. We're tired of this. Just tell us what you want.
Did it just spell what I think it spelled?
What the heck?
Oh
Spell
my
what?
God, it didn't tell me.
What do you mean blood? What the hell do you want? Come on now.
Oh my God, Tommy!
Son of... Oh my God!
Oh
Man, that's
my God. You need to get the damn thing out of the house!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Before starting, the ghost hunter carefully explained how the board worked, the rules to follow, and the need to show respect for whatever spirit might come through. The air grew tense as they placed their hands on the planchette and asked the first question, "What do you want?" For a while, nothing happened, but then slowly, the planchette began to move. Letter by letter, it spelled out one chilling word, blood. The two exchanged uneasy glances, and the woman was in tears, unsure if they should continue. Suddenly, the board itself jolted violently and was launched across the table at the ghost hunter. Both of them jumped back in fear, the client visibly shaking as the clip cut off. What began as an attempt to seek answers had turned into a frightening confrontation, and this moment proved to them that something dark was definitely present in the home. The story doesn't end here though, and it's clear more answers, or more terror, could be waiting. The very next day, more family members gathered at the house, 4 people in total, hoping to get some clarity after the terrifying Ouija board session. The ghost hunter, still shaken but determined, suggested another ritual, this time with candles placed carefully around the table to amplify whatever energy lingered in the room.
Light the candles. Listen. Oh shit, it ain't wanting us to do this, Jared. Jacob tried to tell us it don't want us to do this. Let's just do it.
Lights forward, hit.
Turn the light out. Leave that light on right there. In case something does happen, we have to get up. Look, what? Look. What the? Tommy, let's do this right quick. Come on. Oh. Leslie, I'm sorry, babe. Come on. We gotta hold hands. Don't let go of each other's hands no matter what we do. You've got to stay in the circle and hold hands. Don't let go.
I'm not part of this circle, man.
If you let go of each other's hands, it's got control of it. It can
Hold on a minute.
done.
Look at that. It's a friggin' water off it over here. Put the Bible on the middle of the house. Come on. If they set them in the house, give us a sign, show us who you are. If you're evil.
Sorry, baby.
If you're evil.
Oh, shit.
Fuck, dude.
Son of a bitch, Jerry.
Hey, God dang.
Oh, damn.
Wait a minute, let's do it.
Hey, that's enough. That's solid enough, man. That's solid enough.
Okay. Let's get it. Let's quit. Turn this light on.
Hey, Leslie, I'm sorry.
What is that?
I don't know.
As the candles flickered, the tension was thick enough to feel in the air. Suddenly, the kitchen tap turned itself on full force, startling everyone present. Trying to stay focused, the group sat at the table, holding hands and asking directly for signs that the spirit was evil. The man behind the camera was too frightened to join, keeping his distance as he filmed. That's when things spiraled. Behind them, the bed in the room began jolting violently up and down, rattling against the floorboards, as if being shaken by an unseen force. Moments later, drops of blood-like liquid started dripping from the ceiling above, sending the group into panic. One woman broke down into tears, pleading for it to stop as the others quickly backed away from the table. The clip ends there, but the raw fear on their faces made it clear this was only the beginning. Subscribe so you don't miss part 2 of this chilling encounter. Jesus Gamboa was on his usual night shift as a security guard, the kind of long, quiet hours where even the smallest sound can put you on edge. He had grown used to the stillness, monitoring the CCTV screens to pass the time, but on this night, something caught his eye. A strange shape flickered across one of the cameras, enough to make him second-guess himself. Wanting to be sure, he grabbed his flashlight and stepped outside to investigate.
¿Y por qué no te gusta trabajar de noche?
A la verga.
As he approached a parked lorry, it revealed something terrifying, a human-like face peering out from behind the front of the vehicle. At first glance, it looked almost real, but the unnatural stillness and distorted features made it clear this was no ordinary person. What unsettled him even more was what came after. When he rushed back inside to review the CCTV, the figure wasn't there. The footage showed nothing unusual at all, leaving only the clip on his phone as proof. For Jesus, this was confirmation that whatever he encountered wasn't human, and it left him dreading the rest of his shift. A guy was casually recording a Snapchat video to send to his friend Julie, jokingly asking her how she expected to make money if she didn't like to work. It was nothing more than a playful moment, the kind of everyday clip people send back and forth without much thought. But what happened in the background quickly turned it into something entirely different.
I literally hate you. How the f do you expect to make money, Julie, if you don't like to work? Julie, my door just opened. What? No, stop. What the f? What the f? Bitch, it's not even that late. Kevin's not home from work yet. What? Oh my god. What the? No. Oh! No. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. What the f? Julie. You're fine. Oh! No. 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 What the f?
Mid-sentence, the door outside his room began rattling violently, like someone was trying to get in. Confused, he walked out to check, only for another door down the hall to suddenly slam shut with force. He knew it wasn't his boyfriend because he wasn't even home, so there was no explanation. Things only got worse. Back in his room, the closet door opened and closed by itself, as if mocking him. Trying to keep calm, he stepped back out again, but this time he found every single door in the hallway wide open, an image that sent chills through him. Just when it seemed like it couldn't escalate any further, a chair slid across the entire room on its own, sealing the moment as one of the scariest clips he'd ever captured. What began as a simple Snapchat to a friend turned into undeniable proof that something in his house wasn't right. It just shows that spirits can do anything at any time, and you have to always be alert. The Paranormies are a group of well-experienced ghost hunters who visit locations and see what they can find. They post their findings onto their YouTube channel so that people like us can see what ghosts are capable of, and it truly is fascinating. In the adventure that I am about to expose you to, they were responding to a scary story of an old friend who may have been part of a homicide in the 1970s. The spooky, abandoned town of Piney is where this took place, and they wanted to investigate the train station first, and weird signs popped up right away.
You can moan for us so we can hear it. You can do it into one of our microphones or into our ear.
Look at this, man. I didn't see over there, but that looks like it's coming down too.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. Like where I'm shining, that looks like a TV, the actual two-part of the TV.
Oh yeah.
All around the station, they were finding appliances such as televisions, stoves, and refrigerators, which was really weird, considering the purpose of the building was supposed to be a transport mechanism. The team theorized that it must have been converted to a storage unit, but as I said, this was just a theory. After coming up with this, they continued their train station adventure without much else to think about. This location had been debunked, but not a house in the town. Next, they all went to the closest house in the abandoned town, and what they found there was much weirder.
Silence.
Really?
Like I actually heard like a lot of voices, but like then it just would stop for like 10-20 seconds at a time, and then it would just pick up again, which is super weird. So if it's silent in here right now, it could pick up again any second.
You hear that?
Yeah. Oh my god! Was that upstairs? No, that's outside.
Holy f, man, it sounded like a piece of the house just busted off.
What? That might have been it, because look at the roof.
Was that a piece of the house or was that you? Oh man, that freaked me out. Hands are shaking. Holy smokes.
There was something standing here, right?
What's that?
You saw it too?
Yeah.
Something was standing right here.
It looked like something was standing right here.
Oh my god.
But I saw it for like a split second.
A thump was heard by the whole group, and it was almost as if a victim of the homicide was still haunting the town. I will continue this story in a future video on the channel. William Davies was winding down in his bedroom when he heard the soft creak of the door moving. At first, he thought it was just a draft, but then it happened again and again. No windows were open and the heating wasn't on. He grabbed his phone and began filming, thinking it might just be a loose hinge or bad alignment.
Whatever that was. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, just move back a bit then. Oh, not amazing. Get too close to the door.
postman. No way. Holy shit. Makes me wonder. Strange. Definitely has right now. By the clock. What? Definitely hearing things. Whoa. Not possible. Got some pull on it as well.
In the footage, the bedroom door sways all by itself, as if something is actually in contact with it. As William turns the camera to scan the rest of the room, the cabinet door beside his dresser swings open just as deliberately. There's no sound, no sudden gust, nothing visible that could have triggered it. Afterward, William sits down and replays the clip multiple times, watching how precisely everything moved. The timing feels intentional, like something unseen was reacting to him. He checks the hinges, tests the cabinet, even places items inside to see if anything shifts naturally, but everything stays still until the camera comes back out. That night, he leaves the lights on and tries to sleep with one eye open. The fear isn't from what he saw, but from knowing he didn't imagine it. Something in that room moved, and whatever it was, it knew he was watching. In the following video, Matty was home alone when he heard the bells from the front door ringing. This usually meant that somebody had entered the house, but upon checking, nobody was there, so he assumed it was the wind. However, when he started hearing this again later in the night, he was not going to be as foolish. Matty took his camera this time to capture the phenomenon on camera, and this is what he was able to see.
I don't know what's going on with these dogs, bro. They're scared of something. Yo, I'm telling you, bro, that's the second time I heard those bells, bro. The second time I'm home all the alone, bro. Nobody is home. Nobody. No one is home. Nobody is home. And those bells. What's wrong, Petey? What's wrong? What do you see? You see something? You see something over here? I'm telling you, those bells, I heard them twice. What the f*** is going on? Petey! 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 Petey, what's going on? The TV turned on. The TV turned on. Petey, let's go. Go, Petey. Go. Go out. Go out. Go out. Go. Go out. Go out. Go out. Go out. Go out. What the is going on? What the is going on? What the is going. It turned off. It turned off. Lucy, Bentley, let's go. Bentley, get out. Let's go. Tiberius, let's go. Get the f*** out. Get the f*** out. Get the f*** out. Let's go. Tiberius. Lucy. Oh my God. Charlie, let's go. Come on. Come on, who's home? Come on, who's home? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Come on, T. Come on. Lucy.
The chiming bell was definitely not the biggest issue in this house, because from falling objects to a self-activating TV, this place had it all. Experts have no idea why a poltergeist would choose to target Matty, especially considering nobody else, including him, ever noticed something weird inside of the house again. This is one of many big mysteries on this channel that will likely never be solved. The woman in our next clip loved her job as a cleaner at the old church. Every day, she took pride in making the place shine, enjoying the quiet moments among the ancient stone and stained glass windows. But one day, while working late, she suddenly felt an icy chill creeping through the air. Feeling uneasy, she decided to record a video for her friend to show what was happening.
I want to go back there quick.
In the footage, a heavy wooden door slowly moves by itself. She turns around, startled, and screams. After that, she left work early and told her boss she wouldn't be returning. The experience shook her deeply, and the church that once felt like a second home suddenly became a place she wanted to avoid forever. Two kids were messing around in the kitchen one afternoon while their family's Ring doorbell camera picked up everything. They had been watching scary videos earlier and were still hyped up, joking loudly to each other. "I ain't scared of no ghosts." It was all fun and laughter until it wasn't. Just after one of them repeats the line, the door ahead of them slams shut with full force, seemingly out of nowhere. Their faces go from playful to terrified in a heartbeat. They scream, running around in a panic, not knowing whether to open the door or hide. Eventually, they yank it back open and bolt straight through the house, crying as they race down the street to their grandma's place next door. Later that evening, after things calmed down, their parents reviewed the footage. There were no windows open, no fans on, and nothing they could find that would have caused the door to move like that. Everyone agreed it wasn't just wind or coincidence. It felt like a direct response to the kids mocking whatever might be in the house. Since then, they haven't gone back to that kitchen alone, and next time they talk about ghosts, they'll think twice before taunting them. No one in this family ever thought their house was haunted. It was barely 9 years old, and everything about it felt normal, except for one thing. Ever since they were kids, they'd hear the sound of someone digging through their big plastic tub of Lego pieces upstairs. It was the same tub where they used to build Bionicles, and the rattling noise it made was loud and unmistakable. But sometimes, that sound would echo through the house when no one was up there.
Dude, I can clearly hear that. Yeah, I hear that I hear that loudly. Dude, that is weird. That's loud. That's loud. Yeah, that's very loud. Go in. Go. Shh. What the heck? Dude, there's nothing here. What? Yeah, there's nobody up here. There's literally nothing in here. And look how heavy this is. Yeah. Hang on, there's nothing up here. What the crap? There's nothing in here either, look. I could hear it when we got about halfway down the hallway. Yeah, it stopped as we got closer.
I just heard once. Like I came out and heard like, shh. That's all I heard.
Yeah, but we heard it when we were sitting there. We were sitting and we heard it.
You heard it start?
Yeah. Yeah, we heard it start and it went for like...
How long ago before you got me?
It probably went for about 10 seconds, 10 or 15 seconds.
Let's watch it. Let's watch it. You'll watch it. So you can...
In the recording, you can clearly hear the distinct plastic clatter coming from the closet, like someone sifting through the pieces. The two brothers rush toward it, open the door, and find absolutely nothing. No person, no movement, just an eerie stillness. They figured that was it, just the same weird sound they'd been hearing for years. But when they showed the footage to friends and eventually cast it onto their living room TV, someone caught something that none of them had seen before. In the far back of the closet, a huge bionicle figure they'd built as kids can be seen slowly turning its head right before the clip ends. They raced upstairs to check, and sure enough, the figure was still there. Same pose, same position. The neck joint is stiff, not loose, so it shouldn't have been able to move at all. The family says they've never felt in danger, but ever since that night, none of them go near the closet alone. Kyle Anthony was home alone while his fiancée was out with her sister. At one point, he heard laughter coming from the basement, but it only started the moment he opened the door. The sound was unmistakably like a child laughing, which made him uneasy since he has no kids. He quickly shut the door, still shaken by the strange noise.
Alright, I am home alone, and I am hearing a little kid laughing in the basement, and I do not have children. This is freaking me out. Yeah, you do hear it too? Go. Move. I'll try to go down there. Oh God, let's see if we hear it. Goodness gracious. Shit. Do you hear that? Oh my God, that's freaky. I don't have children. And I'm home alone. My fiance just went with her sister to the mall. I don't hear it anymore now. Goodness gracious.
In the footage, as Kyle opens the basement door, the laughter begins suddenly and echoes through the house. Later, he opens the door again, but this time nothing happens. The silence makes the moment even more eerie as he stands there, unsure of what to believe. Left unsettled, Kyle is now trying to figure out what's going on in the basement, so feel free to leave him some form of suggestion for his future in the comments. To call the Midwest ghost hunter a regular on this channel would be a severe understatement, because he appears in at least 98% of my videos. This is because he never fails to provide long compilations of ghostly footage from places he visits, and they seem to get more frightening every single time. In today's video, he was in a haunted theater by himself, and he wanted to gather evidence that this place was as bad as it seemed. This is what he caught.
All right, well, Reverend Henry Doty Maxson. Here is his office. Let's see if anything happens. Reverend. Are you in here? Are you okay with me visiting? Your office here? That's his old chalkboard right there. And that is his handwriting. They've kept that preserved. That must have been from his last lecture before dying. Father, if you are indeed in here, could you tap on your chalkboard? Make a tapping sound like you're writing on it. I would be amazed if you did that. What the? That sounded like paper being moved. It was on this desk. Like, whoa, you see that? Dude, look at that. That has to be it. Look at that, it's literally hanging off of the table. Look at all the other ones, they're like straight, and then that one is just completely. Henry, did you just move this piece of paper? I wonder what's on this paper anyway. It's more of his writing. Reverend, if you're sitting at your desk right now, could you move something once more? Use whatever energy you need. You can use it for my camera, my voice recorder, whatever you need. All I wish to do is learn from you. Learn about the afterlife. Whoa, I'm feeling like coldness over here. It's like emanating from this desk. I'm gonna get a reading with this.
Strangely, the Reverend decided to move a piece of paper to the edge, despite it being its own preserved piece of writing. This was likely to scare Ian, the ghost hunter, but if that was the goal, then it was a big fail because he was not going to give up on this investigation. So subscribe for more clips inside of this theater in future videos. Ever since he was young, Marcus had been fascinated with the underground. He loved the stillness, the echoes, and the sense of mystery that came with exploring places most people would never see. Over the years, he had taken up caving as a hobby, often bringing his loyal dog along for company. On this particular day, he decided to explore a cave system he hadn't visited before, curious to see what secrets it might hold. With only his headlamp and his dog's eager excitement to guide the way, they ventured deep inside.
Out. Come here. Come on. Come on. Go.
Misty.
What do you think about this, Misty? Keep looking. Stay behind me. What the fuck is that? Oh shit. Go. Come on, Misty. Come on, Misty.
The footage shows them carefully making their way through narrow passages until they eventually reach a dead end, where dozens of bats hang above, prompting Marcus to turn around. After walking back for only a short time, the beam of his light catches something ahead, a tall, human-like figure standing in the darkness. It was far too unnatural in movement and presence to be anything ordinary. Without a second thought, Marcus grabs his dog and bolts for the exit, the sound of his hurried footsteps echoing through the cave as they escape into daylight. Even now, he says he can't explain what he saw, and maybe he doesn't want to. Dre and his friend had been hanging out one evening when a series of strange noises started coming from the attic. At first, they brushed it off, thinking it might just be the wind or an old house creaking, but the sounds kept happening, louder each time. After a bit of debating, they decided to check it out for themselves. Climbing up into the dim attic, they were hit with an instant feeling of unease, like they were being watched. The air felt heavier, and both of them agreed it didn't feel right.
Alright, remember, I gotta turn this thing on here. Recorder's on.
Alright, we got the cripple.
Yeah, I'm the cripple. I'm the EVP director.
The EVP specialist. And, let's see if I can do this. Got myself, Dre. And we're up here because we heard some noises earlier. And we're trying to figure out if we can catch a little bit more. Or try to piss this thing off enough to let us know that it's here.
I heard you up here last night. Make a noise. I kept on hearing stuff in the back of the attic on the back there on the right, like there was something hiding back there. I got it on the recorder, like all these little bangs and scratching noises. And just for the record, there's no wildlife up here. What's your name? Stop hiding and show yourself.
Give us a sign. What the hell was that?
Did you see something?
We just got something on video.
What was it?
Oh my gosh, what was that? Hang on, we gotta stop this.
What did it look like?
In the footage, the camera pans across the far end of the attic just in time to catch a sudden movement in the shadows. Nobody else was in the house, and no one could have been hiding there without them seeing. The encounter left them certain they had just come face to face with a ghost. Mykolenko is one of those rare ghost hunters whose reputation speaks for itself. Known for his sharp instincts, unshakable composure, and years of experience investigating some of the most infamous haunted locations, he's built a name for himself as the guy who gets results. Clients trust him because he doesn't just chase shadows, he documents them with undeniable clarity. So when he was offered $500 to prove a paranormal presence in a suburban home that had been giving its owners sleepless nights, he didn't hesitate. In the footage, Mykolenko is standing well across the room, far from the old wooden cabinet in question. Without warning, the cabinet begins to shake violently, sending several objects crashing to the floor. The angle is perfect, clear, steady, and without any sign of wires or tampering. The homeowners were convinced on the spot, and true to his word, Mykolenko delivered the proof and walked away with the full $500 in hand. If you want more investigations like this, make sure to subscribe. Mykolenko will be appearing in future videos, and you don't want to miss what he uncovers next. A man was relaxing in his bedroom late at night when a sudden aggressive rattling of a nearby door jolted him upright. At first, he thought it might be the wind, or maybe someone else in the house, but the sound was too intense and frantic to be either. Grabbing his camera, he stepped cautiously out of bed, his breathing already quickening as he edged closer to the source. The footage shows him standing right next to the door as the handle shakes violently on its own. Without warning, the door swings open and then closes again, all while the handle continues to tremble as if being gripped by invisible hands. His loud, panicked breathing fills the audio, making the moment even more unsettling. After the incident, he admitted he didn't sleep for the rest of the night. The next day, he began researching and reaching out to local paranormal hunters, determined to bring in someone experienced who could explain or confront whatever was in his home. Valentina was at the hospital late one evening, sitting in the hallway while her father was being treated. She had no idea that at this exact point in time, her father had already passed away. She was scrolling through her phone, trying to distract herself from the stress, when something caught her attention out of the corner of her eye.
No. Ay, no puede ser, mira. No, mira. Es una fantasma acá, loco. No te puedo creer, la puta madre. Ay, no, lo que le parió. No.
The wheelchair her father regularly used began to roll forward completely on its own, moving smoothly across the corridor without anyone near it. Valentina froze, her fear mixing with confusion as she stared at the empty seat. Later, a nurse informed her that her father's heart had stopped just 2 minutes before the wheelchair had moved. The timing left her shaken, wondering if this was her father's way of saying goodbye. Marcos had just returned home from a long shift at work and was winding down for the night, watching TV in her room. It was quiet, the kind of stillness that usually meant nothing out of the ordinary would happen. But then she heard it, a distinct thud from just outside her bedroom door, like something heavy had fallen. At first, she thought she imagined it, but the sound was too real to ignore. Curious and a little uneasy, she grabbed her phone and started recording before going to check.
Dios.
She slowly opened her bedroom door and immediately spotted an object lying on the floor in the hallway, something that definitely hadn't been there before. As she processed what she was seeing, a chair further down the hall suddenly slid across the floor directly toward her, stopping just a few feet away. Marcos backed up quickly, her breathing picking up as fear set in. Later, she admitted she didn't sleep in her room that night, and was now considering having a paranormal investigator come to see what she might be dealing with. Fabian was sitting in his room watching TV when he heard the familiar sound of his dad's car pulling into the driveway. He quickly turned his head toward the window, trying to catch a glimpse of him arriving. While Fabian's attention was fixed outside, the doll on his bed shifted suddenly, moving in a way that was far from natural. Fabian had no idea. He only turned back a moment later and hurried out of the room to greet his dad. Later, his mum reviewed the security footage from his room and was left stunned by what she saw. The doll had been perfectly still before, and there was no one near it when it moved. The unsettling discovery has her seriously considering moving out before whatever caused it decides to do more. Late at night in Mexico, a family was winding down when one of them claimed to see something strange moving outside from their bedroom window. They described it as a white cloak drifting through the street. So the father decided to head downstairs and step outside to record whatever it was.
Ya, loco, graba. Míralo ahí, loco, míralo ahí. ¿Y qué? ¿Qué está haciendo? Te dije, loco, se parece a Martín, loco, el que murió. Cierra la puerta. Cierra la puerta. Llama a papi. Papi, ven que aquí hay una cosa rara, yo no sé qué es. Mira, llámalo, ve. Cierra la puerta. Ay, Dios mío. Mira. Ay, Dios. Llama a papi.
In the footage, A white bedsheet-like shape can be seen floating and twisting through the air, moving in a way that didn't match any breeze. It glided across the road, almost deliberately, before disappearing into the deep shadows beside another house. The family was left unsettled, unsure if it was some elaborate prank or something far stranger. Neighbors have since been warned, but the mystery remains unsolved. A man was working late one night on his small business setup at home when he started to hear a faint but repetitive knocking sound. At first, he thought it was just the house settling or maybe something outside. But as the knocking persisted, he began tracing the sound and realized it was coming from a cabinet across the room. Curious and slightly uneasy, he pulled out his phone and began to record.
Yeah, I've been like hearing fucking knocking sounds coming from this room. You hear that? Oh my god. What the f? Hello? Hello? Yo, what the fuck, bro? Hello? Hello? I'm fucking out of here, bro. Fuck this.
In the video, the cabinet door suddenly opens itself just a crack. He walks over cautiously, then opens the door fully, only to find it completely empty. There was no mechanism, no airflow, no trick, just an eerie silence as the camera catches him backing away. After the encounter, he decided to leave the workspace for the night. Though he tried to brush it off, he later admitted to friends that the moment felt unnatural, and he's been hesitant to work in that room after dark ever since. A man on TikTok had been relaxing at home when he heard strange sounds coming from upstairs. It wasn't the usual creaks or settling, it sounded like movement. Instead of brushing it off, he decided to film and share what was happening with his followers. Grabbing his phone, he headed to the top of the stairs and stood at the end of the hallway. Here is what he was able to capture.
Alright, tell me I'm a crack. Every time I turn off the light, there's like a shadow there. Watch. You see that? What the f? What the f? Tell me I'm not a crack, dude. Hell no. What the f? Dude, I'm out of here. Ma.
He pans the camera across the hall to show that no one is there, then focuses on one specific doorway. As he turns the light off, a shadowy figure appears in the frame, standing motionless. He flips the light back on, nothing. Off again, the shadow is back. He does this several times, each time getting more anxious as the figure disappears and reappears with the flick of the switch. Eventually, without saying a word, he turns the camera away and quickly leaves the house. After posting the clip, his followers were quick to flood the comments with theories, ranging from a trick of the light to something far more unsettling. The man later explained he had never experienced anything like that before, and still doesn't have an explanation. Since the video, he hasn't spent the night alone in that house and is thinking about moving out altogether if it ever happens again. Sherry and her co-worker were finishing up their shift at around 7:30 p.m., going through their usual end-of-day tasks at the crematorium where they both worked. It had always been a quiet place, professionally run, and nothing out of the ordinary had ever happened in all their years working there. The idea of anything paranormal seemed far-fetched until that night. While checking the security cameras, they noticed something strange on one of the monitors and decided to record it on a phone. The footage shows a body completely covered in a white blanket, resting on a stretcher in the prep room, Without warning, the covered body begins to shift ever so slightly, then more noticeably, as if something underneath was adjusting itself or trying to move. Neither Sherry nor her co-worker were anywhere near it at the time, and the room had been closed off. Both stood in stunned silence as they watched the movement happen in real time on the screen. The body was cremated the following day as scheduled, and no further strange activity has occurred at the facility since. Sherry later said they still don't have any answers, and they've chosen not to talk about it much around their co-workers. While it hasn't changed how they feel about the job, it's a moment they won't forget anytime soon. Dr. Kamal and a nurse were sharing a quick laugh during a short break, standing together in one of the quieter hallways of the hospital around midnight. Nothing had felt off up to that point. They were joking around as usual, and Kamal casually held his phone, already recording as part of a light-hearted prank he was planning on pulling. The moment was relaxed and normal, until it suddenly wasn't.
Es que te estoy enfocando a las boobies. Ah, no mames.
¿Qué?
Pasó algo.
¿Qué pasó? No mames.
A ver, ven. No mames, pasó algo, te lo juro que pasó algo, ¿eh?
Se mueve, se mueve.
Vete a la verga.
Yo no voy.
No mames.
While the camera rolls, a ghostly figure silently walks past an open doorway just a few feet behind them. It's brief, but the movement is clear. Both Kamal and the nurse stop mid-laugh, frozen. He immediately steps forward to check the hallway, confused and shaken, but finds no one there. Then, just before he turns back, a walking assistant that had been still in the hallway glides a few inches across the floor on its own, startling both of them again. The video left viewers stunned, and Kamal uploaded it mostly to get opinions on what they'd seen. As far as he knows, no one matching the figure's outline was anywhere in the building at the time. That part of the hospital had been empty. Since then, the two have continued working their shifts, but neither of them walks through that hallway without glancing over their shoulder anymore. Sabia has been included in one of the recent videos on my channel, and her story continues this time. In the last video, she had been experiencing all sorts of paranormal experiences in her own home, and this was because one had followed her when she visited an abandoned house with her now ex-boyfriend. She lived alone in this house and had no idea how to deal with the spirit, so had to knuckle down and deal with it. This video is a prime example of the sort of things that happen on a day-to-day basis for her. Take a look.
Dat lichtknipper er weer aan en uit in de hal. Oh, in het nieuwe huis. Helemaal klaar mee. Oh. Ik durf echt niet. Donder op, ik ga daar niet naartoe. Ik bel wel iemand.
Once again, the spirit performed its signature act of messing with the lights before expanding its powers to whole different levels. From a swinging light to a ghostly apparition. This was shocking, and I really do hope that Sabia becomes okay in the future. Make sure to wish your luck too in the comment section. The man behind the TikTok account 1916 Haunting was excitedly giving a tour of his family's new basement. It was still a work in progress, but he was clearly proud of how things were shaping up. The shelves were neatly stacked with glasses of beer, and boxes were arranged all around, showing signs of an ongoing project.
Go straight down into this, and then after a while, you know, it sucks that out and pumps it out. And then here's a shower. This is actually what we're using. It looks super sketch, but it's actually really, really nice. Don't tell Emily, but there was a spider in it. It's actually really nice. This is what we use until we fix the upstairs shower. And then the very open bathroom with a random phone there. So if, you know, I'm doing business, I can still do business. And then washer, dryer, this, and of course you got the bar. This is a work in progress thing. Hey, what the
Suddenly, he hears the unmistakable sound of footsteps running down the stairs behind him. He quickly spins around, but there's no one there. The noise stops just as abruptly as it started, leaving only silence in its place. After uploading the video, he mentioned that this was only the beginning, hinting that there might be more unexplained activity to come as the basement project continues. The story is far from over. A few days passed with no unusual activity, and things seemed calm. Then, late one evening, the door handle to the sitting room started rattling unexpectedly. Curious, the man grabbed his camera to capture what was happening. At first, nothing stirred, but suddenly, the rattling began again right in front of the lens. He quickly went around to the other side of the door and searched carefully, but found nothing. No one, no sign of how the handle was moving on its own. Still puzzled, he decided he was going to start filming at random intervals, sensing there might be more to uncover in the days ahead. To try and catch whatever was causing the strange noises, the man decided to do another basement tour, hoping it would trigger the ghost again. He set up his camera and walked slowly through the space, narrating as he went. The atmosphere was tense, every creak and shadow making him more alert. Suddenly, something caught his eye.
Alright, so pardon the mess, but this is what I was telling you about, man. So, you got the toilet, and just the complete open. I mean, like I said, ignore the mess. We haven't done laundry in a while, but yeah, it's a completely open bathroom just in the middle of the... It's always something. Every single day. You heard it too? Yeah? I don't know what to tell you, dude. It's getting worse.
In the clip, a faint, ghostly figure walks silently just above him. It then runs down the stairs at a tremendous speed, and right behind it, a cat, previously unseen, follows closely. The man's quiet breathing can be heard as he watches this happen in disbelief. After the footage, the man felt a mix of excitement and unease. He knows this is just the beginning and plans to keep investigating, documenting every step. Whether this is a harmless presence or something more, he's determined to find out. The basement still holds many secrets, and he's ready to face whatever comes next. You'll have to subscribe so you don't miss any potential future haunter features for this man. Lucho and his friend had been drawn to an old, abandoned school known for its dark past and the many bad stories surrounding it. Despite warnings, they decided to explore, eager to see if the tales were true.
Sente o ruído, sente o ruído, mano. Sente o ruído, mano. Oh, papá. Escucha, escucha. Puto, se me ha hecho. Tá louco, comarca, boludo. Che, papá. Vamos la mierda, para. Vení, Julio, vení, vamos. Vamos, Julio, vení, vamos. Papá, vamos a la mierda. Papá, ve. Vamos. Vení, vamos, raca, Julio. ¿Qué? No pasa nada, Julio se cae. No, vamos a la mierda.
Acerquemos, no pasa nada.
Vamos, ¿qué pasa? Vamos. Uy, papá, vení. ¡Vamos a la mierda! Uy, papá.
As they made their way through the halls, chairs began being thrown across rooms, seemingly on their own, clattering loudly against walls. They cautiously stepped into a hallway where chairs had collapsed and littered the floor, making it difficult to move. Then, an object attached to the wall started moving by itself, shifting in a way that was impossible to explain. Suddenly, a very violent crash echoed through the building, sending both of them bolting out of the school, terrified and desperate to get away from whatever was causing the chaos. A friend of the uploader had recently moved into a new house and shared these clips online, saying he'd already packed up and left after the experiences. After watching the clip, you won't blame him, so take a look.
Jackson is like laser ass focused on this right now. He won't, like, you alright? I know. I think something's wrong. I don't know. I hear noises, but I'm not even sure. Are you fucking kidding me right now? There is no way that just happened. There is no way that just happened. There is no way. What's wrong with you? What's wrong? Jackson. What's wrong? There's banging and stuff.
His dog was intently focused on a closet, sniffing and growling at something unseen. Suddenly, an item flew off a shelf inside the closet, causing him to laugh nervously and deny that it had actually happened. After a short pause, the dog crept closer to the closet, barking furiously at seemingly nothing, and then the closet door swung shut by itself. Shaken, the friend decided to leave the house entirely, and later mentioned he wouldn't be returning anytime soon, knowing that the dog had clearly sensed something he couldn't explain. Edgar had always thought of himself as a rational guy. He worked long shifts, came home late, and usually spent his nights unwinding in front of the TV. Recently, though, he'd been feeling uneasy in his own home. Small things had been bothering him, such as misplaced objects, creaks in the night, and the strange feeling that he was being watched when no one else was there. He brushed it off as stress or exhaustion, but deep down, he knew something wasn't right. That unease finally came to a head one night.
Ay, los nuevos no son tan chidos. Este cabrón que se fue a la tienda, qué pedo. ¿Qué pedo? A la verga. No mames. No mames, no mames.
While relaxing on the couch, Edgar suddenly heard a scraping noise on the floor and got up to investigate. He spotted a cap hovering just behind the couch before it was hurled to the other side of the room. Startled, he ran, only for a cabinet door to slam shut by itself. Moments later, as he walked into the bathroom to catch his breath, he heard another loud crash from the kitchen. When he rushed to check, a chair slid itself away from the table, as though something invisible had pushed it. Completely shaken, Edgar grabbed his keys and left the house in fear. Later, he admitted he was considering never staying there alone again, believing the spirit was becoming stronger and impossible to cope with. Marcus Monroe had never been one to believe in the supernatural, but that changed after he came across a strange voodoo doll and brought it home. Ever since, his apartment hasn't felt the same. Lights flickered, objects shifted on their own, and the constant sense of being watched made his daily life unsettling. Still, he tried to brush it off and continue as normal.
Hello?
One evening, while lifting weights, Marcus was interrupted when the front door slammed shut by itself. Cautiously, he set his weights down, walked over, and opened the door, nervously calling out, "Hello?" Finding nothing, he locked the door, but unease lingered. As he turned away, a small pumpkin sitting on the counter slid off the edge and crashed to the ground, startling him. He placed it back, trying to stay calm. But before he could collect himself, another object suddenly fell from a shelf behind him, sending him into panic. Terrified and out of options, Marcus bolted from the apartment and admitted later he was considering leaving for good, convinced that the voodoo doll had brought bad energy to the place. At around 1 a.m., a man in his kitchen thought he was just grabbing a late-night snack, but his security camera would capture something far stranger. He set a box of cereal on the counter before turning around to grab the milk from the fridge. At first, everything seemed normal, but when he turned back, the box had shifted in a way that didn't make sense, leaving him staring in confusion. Trying to dismiss it, he went about pouring his drink, but the unease only grew. As he turned away again, this time the milk carton itself began to slide slowly across the counter, spinning and edging further with each second. He caught sight of it in disbelief, watching as it continued to move until it tipped off the counter completely, spilling across the floor in a loud crash. What started as a midnight snack had turned into an undeniable display of paranormal force. In the aftermath, the man admitted he couldn't laugh it off or explain it away anymore. Something in his home was showing its power, and it was no longer hiding. A British man was relaxing in his living room when things suddenly turned chaotic. At first, it was just one item that dropped from a shelf and smashed on the floor, making him shout in frustration that he was leaving the house for good. But before he could even process it, a plate hurled itself across the room, shattering right in front of him.
Now, I'm not being funny, people. I'm going.
Does this just come on the name water?
Word water's just come up.
But as in the name?
As in the name.
Did the thing come up earlier?
I'm going.
If you've asked for a chat and they're asking you to chat.
Yeah, but look, it's come up with chat. I'm not going to sit here having things thrown at me. If you're there, please show yourself. It's thrown it at me!
He could hardly believe what he was seeing when yet another object was thrown his way, forcing him to duck back as the haunting turned violent. What makes this case so gripping is the aftermath. Viewers later learned he didn't actually leave the house that night. Instead, he stayed, furious and shouting at whatever presence was inside, claiming he wouldn't be pushed out of his own home. But locals who know him say his anger didn't fix anything, and in fact, the activity only escalated in the days after, as if the entity had been provoked. Some even speculate that by openly challenging it, he gave it more power. Too angry or not though, I wish this man luck for the future. Juan had been working security at a local school for nearly 6 years, and though it wasn't the job of his dreams, it paid the bills and gave him a sense of routine. Most nights were uneventful, with long walks down silent hallways, checking that doors were locked and lights were off. But deep down, Juan always hated the eerie stillness of the place after dark. Teachers and staff had whispered to him before about the school being off, with stories of janitors quitting after hearing voices or objects moving on their own. He never gave those rumors much weight, brushing them off as ghost stories meant to keep kids from sneaking in. Still, when he was alone on those night shifts, the silence seemed heavy, as if the building itself was listening. One night, that silence was broken by a loud banging echoing from somewhere down the corridors. At first, Juan assumed it was a window, or maybe a prank, but the sound was too rhythmic, too deliberate. Determined to prove himself wrong, he followed the noise until he reached one of the classrooms, only to find the door slightly blocked by a chair. He moved it out of the way and stepped inside, searching every corner, but the room was completely empty. Relieved, but unsettled, he turned to leave, only for the real shock to come. Just as he stepped back into the corridor, a heavy table slid across it, causing him intense fright. He sprinted out of the facility at full pace. Juan couldn't shake what had happened the night before. He told himself not to go back, that no paycheck was worth dealing with what he saw, but his shift required him there again. With a knot in his stomach, he stepped back into the school, this time more cautious, every flickering light and distant creak making him flinch. For a long while, it was eerily quiet, almost too quiet, as if the building had reset to normal. He began to relax slightly, convincing himself that maybe the sliding table was just his nerves playing tricks. That's when it started again, faint noises echoing through the empty halls. At first, they were small, like tapping on walls, but then they grew into harsh, scraping sounds, as if something heavy was being dragged across the floor in one of the locked classrooms. Juan froze, his breathing quick, staring down the dark corridor where the sounds were coming from. The longer it went on, the more unnerving it became, until he finally left the facility again, this time quitting for good. Most people would find seeking ghosts a horrible activity that ends up badly, no matter the result. Either you find one and end up running away in fear, or you don't, and end up scrounging around for hours just to go back home again. It's a loss-loss situation. However, some people find the hunt thrilling, especially clueless teenagers, and the ones in our next video definitely weren't on the bright side. They decided to venture deep into the woods to check out an abandoned house, but they failed to remember one thing. Houses tend to be abandoned for a reason.
Come on. Now be really quiet so we do hear him.
I no one talk, eh?
Yeah.
Hey.
Come in fast. Then you can feel. Right. What? Go in there. Where's the back door? Wait, just here. Oh shit. Let's go. Let's go. We'll walk down there. Gotta walk down there. Oh, Dioko. Oh, shit, me hard. Yeah, let's go.
We'll walk down.
Yeah, I follow you. But, no, we don't see anything with the camera.
Yeah, it's too dark.
Yeah.
It's not even a fucking window.
What?
It's a fucking window.
What?
Is it act?
There's someone who's at the window.
Act?
Someone was at the window.
It's gone really bright now. Is the window after open?
No, it's the same.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit!
Immediately after entering, they felt a strange vibe about the location and knew they were straight into the deep end without knowing how to swim. Very quickly after entering, one of them noticed someone or something had passed by the window, and due to being in such a remote location, this was bound to cause fear. After alerting everyone, they stared at the window for a brief moment, and that's when it happened. It slammed shut in one great motion, causing them all to run home, the smartest decision of the night for them. Every night without fail, a man would close one of the doors in the house because he didn't like giving his dog free rein of the place. It was an untrustworthy dog, and he was convinced that it would cause a mess if allowed outside of the sitting room at night, so he decided this was the smart alternative. Strangely though, over the past few weeks, he had been waking up to an open door, and at first he thought his dog had figured out how to do it. It was tall after all. However, one night when he was going to the kitchen, this theory was disproved. Whenever he shut the door, some sort of spiritual face pressed itself against the glass, and it was almost as if it wanted to escape. Paranoid, the man kept opening and closing the door in hopes that the poltergeist would perhaps disappear, but of course, it didn't. Eventually, he got curious and placed his hand against the glass to see what would happen, and it was mesmerizing, to put it lightly. The hand of the spirit pressed against the same place, and the man described a warm feeling filling his body. Perhaps it wasn't an evil spirit at all. Alex is a man who we have seen very recently on this channel, and the haunting that he is going through is one that many would not be able to handle. Quite a while back, his great-grandfather died of natural causes at 93 years of age, which was deeply saddening to the family. They thought that they would never see him ever again at the time, but little did they know Alex would. Last time, a noise led him to some keys that he did not know the purpose of, and he kept them around in case he figured it out. They were involved in this clip too, so take a look.
Okay, I just heard a loud bang out here. It's the middle of the night. Sounded like it was coming from the kitchen. Hello? Oh, shit. Hello? Is there somebody here? Is there somebody here? What the? Okay, so I just came out and saw this chair freaking slide by itself away from the table, and when I look at what was out on the table, or what I definitely did not put out here, it is my great-grandfather's journal, his old letters, those keys I found, and a photo album that I had not even known was here. This looks like an old, really old family photo album, and then this is a picture of my grandmother, my great-grandfather's daughter. So I'm f***ing out right now. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't have gone to that graveyard. I don't know.
Again, the clip starts with a loud bang in the middle of the night, as if the ghost's only strategy is luring its prey into its traps. Today's trap was a moving chair that acted as a distraction to Alex, whilst it messed with something else. The ghost somehow gathered a bunch of great-grandfather-related items and placed them all on the same table, which was super creepy for Alex. He is almost certain the cause of this is his great-grandfather, but he feels like the tint of evil is way too high to be him. With the slight possibility of relation to the poltergeist, though, it was enough to make Alex put up with it for a bit longer, and he continued to gather video evidence so he could potentially connect some dots. One night he heard the infamous sounds from downstairs again, so as per usual, went to investigate with full awareness that a spirit was causing it. He was not aware, however, of how crazy this footage was about to be.
So I just captured something else on tape. While I was actually taking the tape, I did not notice it at all, but you go ahead and take a look at it and tell me what you think. Okay, I just heard a really loud noise coming up here from the same place where all the other stuff has been going on. Like something was dragging across the floor. Turn on the lights, like everybody says. Okay, come on. I know I heard something. I don't know. Let's see, I don't know. No, there's nothing here. Turn on this light down here. No, I don't know. Did you see it? Let's take a closer look. Yeah, so that is somebody peeking out from my laundry room. I couldn't get a good look at it, but I don't know. That definitely looked like somebody to me. And there's nobody there. I've already checked. Nobody who is pale white hiding in my laundry room. So I'm freaked out right now.
Unlike his past footage where the poltergeist does some creepy stuff with no explanation and mysteriously leaves without a singular way of tracking it. This time it showed itself. Later on, Alex sent it to some relatives to see if it had any resemblance of his great-grandfather in their eyes, as they knew him at a young state, and all of them said that whatever this was, it was definitely different and had an evil intent. Visiting a place that you have complete confidence in being haunted is something that only a psychologically insane person would do, and I would place the two kids in the following video in that category. They were both very young at the time, and their great-grandmother had recently passed away, meaning the family was in a state of despair. Unlike the rest though, these children recovered within a week. They decided to visit her house in an attempt to contact her once again and hid the plan from their parents entirely. This is what went down at the location, so have a look.
Estamos aquí en la casa de mi bisabuela, se fue la... ¿Qué es eso? Se fue la luz. Esta es la casita, porque... y mi mamá... Espérense. Y mi mamá y mi abuela se fueron al Oxxo a comprar velas por eso, por lo que pasó de que se fue la luz. Y pues estamos aquí, estas son las... Mi abuelito... Espérense, no sean chillones. No va a pasar nada. Y esas son las cenizas de mi bisabuelo, porque pues desgraciadamente él ya falleció. Y el baño está allá. El baño, mi hermano quiere hacer pipí, pero el baño está allá. Y mi abuela nos dijo que cuidáramos. Mi abuelo nos dijo que cuidáramos aquí su casa, en lo que ellas iban. Pero espérense. Pero pues el problema es que aquí no sabemos. Y pues no tengan miedo. No pasa nada. Abuelito, ¿si estás aquí? Preséntate con nosotros. Si estás aquí, preséntate ante nosotros. Somos tus nietos.
If you paid enough attention throughout the video, you would have noticed the two most frightening parts about it. First of all, a pair of bright, glowing eyes could be seen without a body, which is often a way in which evil spirits portray themselves to display mystery. Furthermore, some kind of black object kept swaying in and out of the entrance, and while it could have easily been some curtains, it could just as easily be a poltergeist. Ghost hunting can be more than a hobby. It can actually be a freelance job, and believe it or not, it pays thousands of dollars if you're any good at it. This next clip comes from a ghost hunter's exploration of a house that somebody was interested in buying and wanted it checked before proceeding with an offer. For quite some time, the hunter saw absolutely no sign of the paranormal, which meant he would make less money, so he kept going, until eventually he hit the jackpot.
Okay, everybody, hold still for a second. Hello? Can you talk to us?
Roughly 14 seconds into the sequence, some sort of apparition can be seen walking back into a room, and upon closer inspection, it looks like a child. After the clip ended, the hunter followed into the room, but to his dismay, things went back to normal. However, this was more than enough to prove the ghost's existence and pay the bag, so he walked home happy. The buyer with interest, however, not so much. There aren't many feelings worse than being called a liar, despite telling the absolute truth, and you can argue with that all you want in the comments. What makes this feeling even worse is when you have a weird entity on your back, and no one trusts that you're in the right state of mind, so you can't get help. This was the case for Alejandro, a regular Mexican man who wanted nothing but safety for his family, but this puts it at risk.
Bueno, esto está pasando en mi casa. Hay actividad paranormal, la puerta se azota. Hay cosas que se mueven. Vean mi papel de baño. Ya revisé y no hay absolutamente nada. A las plenas 4 de la tarde está pasando esto. Estoy documentándolo para mandarlo, que lo examine. A nuestros plenos ojos algo está sucediendo. La puerta se cierra solita. Bueno, la puerta puede ser por el aire, mucho aire. Sin embargo, de repente vean lo que está pasando con el papel de baño. Y es increíble que esté pasando esto a plena luz del día. Vamos a tener que mandar esto para que lo examinen las personas que se dedican a los fenómenos paranormales.
Regardless of the ghost not doing anything you could consider aggressive, Alejandro saw the potential and immediately went to his local place of religion to seek assistance. From this point and forwards, he will not rest until it is a guarantee the ghost isn't in his house. Small gatherings are meant to be fun and enjoyable times for friends and/or families, but this one was ruined by the paranormal world. All that a group of friends wanted to do was meet up at someone's house, play some games, and have a few drinks, but even that's too much fun for a ghost's liking. Take a look.
So the TV turned off right now by itself. This has been happening too.
Nah, dude. Something like that, dude, you gotta... I feel like I've seen that before. You gotta... Whenever since I was young, you gotta, like, call it out or something. Like... You just gotta call them, like
creepy,
literally, bro, just like, is anybody here? Is anybody here? It's like... No, you just gotta... Anybody here, sorry.
What was that? I think it was upstairs. It sounded like a big old bang. This has been happening, bro. Ooh, it's dark as fuck, dude. Oh, dude, it looks creepy. It looks fucking creepy up here, bro. Oh, shit.
Turn off down here.
Go. I don't want to come back,
The
bro.
light just turned off down here.
Holy.
The light over there just turned off. I'm not even joking. Yeah, I think we should.
Let's just go.
We should just get out of here. The light just turned off down here. Yeah. The light over there just turned off. I'm not even joking.
Should we just go?
Yeah, I think we should leave. I think we should just get out of here. Honestly. Honestly, I'm not even grabbing nothing. I'm just gonna go. Can we just go?
It rudely interrupted by tampering with the lights and moving a television remote completely by itself. The camera had the whole remote in shot, so there was a 0% chance it was anything but a ghost that caused this. The gathering had to stop early, and it's safe to say none of them could rest properly that night. Sandra had returned to the house where her late mother once lived, a place now owned by her grandmother, who often claimed the spirit of her daughter still lingered in its walls. It was already an emotional visit, but what happened that day left her shaken. She walked into the bedroom her mom used to sleep in, taking in the familiar atmosphere when something startling occurred.
Things that keep happening in my house since my mom passed away. Like, why? I looked underneath the drawer, I looked behind it, there's nothing making it pop out. It seems like it's when I bring up my mom that something happens. Mom? Your cat's fucking weird.
The bottom shelf of a cabinet creaked open entirely on its own, causing Sandra to freeze. Summoning her courage, she gently pushed it closed and asked the word, "Mom," almost as if hoping for a response. Moments later, the shelf opened once again by itself, making it feel like her mother had truly answered. After her first video gained traction, one particular comment stood out. A viewer suggested she check inside the bottom shelf, wondering if maybe it wasn't just a coincidence, but a deliberate sign. Taking their advice, Sandra decided to record again.
Okay, let's do it. I don't know what could be in this drawer. I have my bathing suits and stuff. Halloween shorts that I need to put to my Halloween stuff. Lingerie. Brown case. My Magnificent Fizz. My bells are just like, I don't know, clear room or something, I don't know. A lot of ducks for my cruise. I went on a cruise last year and I left over ones. Dog's bandana. Bra. What's this? Something my daughter got me. So I do think that this is it. If it is anything, but I'm kind of feeling like this is. I found this note that I'm going to post on top of here from my mom. And then I listen to what this plays.
In the video, she carefully began removing the items from the shelf one by one, showing there were no tricks involved. At the very back, she uncovered a small, dust-covered music box that she instantly recognized as her mother's. With trembling hands, she wound the handle, and to her shock, it began playing the exact melody her mom had written down in a note years earlier. It was a song tied so closely to her mother's memory that it couldn't have been random. Sandra sat there in tears, overwhelmed by the moment, convinced she had just received a direct message from beyond. The discovery only deepened her belief that her mother truly was still watching over her. Miguel had been working as a cleaner for a while, and to him, it was nothing more than a job he couldn't wait to leave behind. The long hours, the late-night shifts, and the way people treated the place without care made it miserable for him. He often said the silence of the building at night was the worst part, since it left him alone with nothing but his thoughts. But one night, that silence was broken by something he could never have expected. He heard the sound of running water echoing from the bathroom, even though nobody else was supposed to be there. Confused and a little unsettled, he went to check it out.
Bueno, voy para adentro. La sangre de Cristo me cura. Hola, hola. Hola. Hola, hola. ¿Estás acá? ¿Dónde estás? Se prenden las luces. ¿Estás jugando con la llave? ¿Ah? ¿Estás jugando con la llave? ¿Ah? Necesito otra prueba. Necesito otra prueba. ¡Ay, marica!
As he entered, the taps began turning on and off by themselves, the hand dryer blasting air without anyone near it. all repeating several times as if mocking his presence. He stood frozen, not sure if he should stay or run, until suddenly the door to one of the stalls slammed shut with incredible force. That was enough for Miguel. He bolted from the bathroom, shaken to his core, convinced his already miserable job had just revealed a far darker side. Pete had been frustrated for weeks, noticing the door to his storage room would creak open at random intervals, but always seemed to stop the moment he tried to film it. It became almost like a routine. He'd hear the sound, grab his phone, run over, and by the time he hit record, the door was already closed again, leaving him with nothing to show. He joked that the spirit must have been camera shy, playing games with him on purpose, but eventually, his persistence paid off.
And like, I can't catch the door opening on camera because every time I pull it out, it don't. Every time I pull my phone out, the door don't open. Oh my god. Oh my god. What was that? What was that? Bro, what the f was that?
This time, the door slowly opened on its own while the camera was rolling, and for just a moment, a shadow could be seen shifting in the darkness behind it. Pete's heart pounded as he rushed forward to check, but when he swung the door wide open, there was nothing there at all. The clip left him shaken and only further convinced that something was truly inhabiting his home. The very next day, Pete thought he could finally put the strange storage room incident behind him, but things only got weirder. His neighbors were out of town, leaving their apartment completely empty. Yet something about it caught his attention from his own window. He decided to grab his phone and start filming.
What the freak is my neighbor doing, bro? I'm right there with that light. That's my neighbors, bro. Oh, hell no, bro. Hell, see, bro, I'm telling you, it's followed me to my house. On my mama, it followed me to my house. She's not here. There is no car in the driveway. I'm literally in the next apartment. Like, I just got home from work, and this is what I see, bro. Yeah, haunted. This shit's haunted. This followed me to my crib. Hell no. She's not here.
Yeah, no. Been doing it all day.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro.
It's in her kitchen.
Yeah, it's the kitchen. Yeah. And people, bro, I'm telling you, bro, this thing has followed me to my house. I'm literally, I'm right there.
Yeah,
Look, my neighbor's not here. That's my neighbor's driveway. That's mine. This is her apartment, bro. Like, I'm not folding, bro. I'm not going. My father said he's been doing it all day today. And like, this is the stuff I'm talking about. Cabinet's open. This cabinet is always open. Every time I come out here to let the dogs out, it does this, bro. See? Nobody's in there. Nobody's in there. This light right here. It's no shortage because it would have messed our apartment up too. Nobody's in there, bro. I know I'm like just looking at my neighbor's thing, but bro, that's like, I'm telling you, that's trippy. Like, nothing has happened at work all day today, and then all of a sudden this stuff starts to happen? Nah, heck no, because I live right there. Literally, it's just a wall, and I heard, nope.
Through the camera, the lights inside their apartment could be seen flicking on and off in a perfect, almost mechanical rhythm. No randomness, no glitches, just an eerie, deliberate pattern. Pete's voice in the background explained that this wasn't an outage because if it were, his own lights would be flickering too. He stood there baffled, realizing this wasn't something that could be easily dismissed. To him, it was like whatever presence had been toying with him had now crossed over to a new stage, reaching beyond his own home. A few days passed, and things seemed to settle down for Pete, at least until one unsettling night. He was home alone, fast asleep, when he suddenly woke up to strange noises echoing throughout the house. Not knowing what to make of it, he grabbed his phone and got out of bed to investigate.
So I'm home alone, and I'm pretty sure I'm hearing noises, things in that back room. Hello? Please tell me you guys heard that. I'm home alone too. Man, I'm not trying to do this. I don't want to go. I don't want to do this. I don't want to go in here. Oh my... Bro, why is that? Who's here? Hello? Nope.
The noises seemed to surround him, bouncing from room to room, leaving him confused and on edge as he wandered through the house. Then, without warning, a door in another room slammed shut with a force that made him jump. The suddenness of it all left Pete visibly shaken, his breathing quick and unsteady as he whispered to the camera, clearly terrified that the haunting presence had only grown stronger. That same night, after Pete finally forced himself back into bed, the noises started all over again. This time he couldn't ignore them. He grabbed his phone once more and made his way downstairs, walking carefully through the dark, still questioning what exactly was happening in his home.
Where are you? So I'm here at the apartment again. There's no one here and I'm hearing things once again. Hello? What do you want? Where are you? Whoa. Whoa, I heard that. What's your name? What do you want?
In the video, he can be heard asking aloud what its name is, and almost immediately, the LEDs in the room begin flashing on and off, not randomly, but in a repeated sequence, almost like Morse code. Pete stood there frozen, whispering in disbelief, before ending the recording. He later uploaded it, asking viewers to help him figure out whether the lights were actually trying to spell out a name, and encouraged anyone who could translate to leave their thoughts in the comments. Ian, better known online as the Midwest Ghost Hunter, has spent years traveling across his region, diving into abandoned buildings, historic landmarks, and long-rumored haunted places. His passion for the paranormal has led him into countless chilling encounters, and he documents them all for his channel. This time, he set out to investigate an old haunted theater completely on his own, armed only with his camera and a willingness to chase whatever might be inside.
Back here.
Okay, I think I'm going crazy here. I just heard a woman talking. What the f***?
Ma'am? I hear you, but I don't see you. I just want to come say hi. Hello? Oh my God. No way. That sounded like singing. I literally heard that with my own ears. That was in here. Look, there's nobody.
While exploring the backstage area, after hearing an unusual noise, Ian slowly walked the narrow halls, scanning every corner for movement. That's when a disembodied voice echoed faintly, startling him, but pushing him to continue deeper. A few moments later, soft singing began drifting through the space, eerie and completely out of place in the dead silence of the theater. Ian stood frozen, listening carefully, knowing the building was supposed to be empty. The clip ends there, leaving the mystery unresolved. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next video, where Ian returns to uncover what could be behind the voice and the singing. The following video was captured towards the end of a paranormal investigation conducted by Ryan and his friend. They were both visiting a known site for paranormal activity called the Adrian, Michigan Ghost Trestle, and none of them actually thought anything would happen. Throughout, though, they were surprised as many haunting things took place, and eventually they came to the conclusion that they needed to leave or something terrible could happen. As they were about to exit the facility, a car drove past them, and then this happened.
There. Oh, shit. Alright, I'm turning on the app. He just grew. Oh man, that's freaky. I just got the chills up my fucking spine. Oh, here comes the car.
After the incident, we decided to leave. But as we were leaving, a car drove past us, and we caught one last spooky moment on camera. Did you see it? Let's show it again. At the time, me and Trent were the only ones there, and yet there was this shadowy figure underneath the trestle as the car passed. Neither of us saw it at the time, but as I was editing the video, I noticed it, and I instantly got goosebumps.
Strangely, a ghostly figure was standing beside the car, and it is important to know that Ryan and his friend were the only two people in the vicinity. What's even spookier is that neither of them actually noticed this appearance at the time, and it was only while editing footage that Ryan exposed this bizarre phenomenon. The Hammerly family have been dealing with strange paranormal activity for a while now, and regular viewers of their TikTok page or this channel will likely remember some of their earlier experiences. From moving objects to unexplained noises, the haunting hasn't shown signs of slowing down. This time, one of their followers left a comment suggesting they confront the ghost directly, half-jokingly telling it to pay rent or get out. Not expecting much, the father of the household decided to give it a try.
Guess we'll get the tour still from Reverend. Task as well.
TikTok says you need to get out or pay rent.
Sitting casually on a chair, he speaks directly to the air, saying, "Either pay rent or leave." There's a moment of silence, and then suddenly, a large canister behind him tips over and crashes to the floor. He doesn't jump or scream, just freezes completely still, staring ahead in stunned silence as the weight of what just happened sets in. Afterwards, the family admitted they hadn't expected any sort of response and were shaken by how quickly and clearly the ghost reacted. They're debating bringing in a spiritual expert or medium, but haven't committed to anything yet. If this is how the spirit reacts to a simple joke, they're left wondering what it might do next. After the canister incident, the Hammerly family went a few days without anything strange happening and started to believe, maybe jokingly, that the ghost actually listened and left. The house felt calm for once, and they were almost ready to move on from it entirely, but that quiet didn't last.
Go away. Go away!
The wife was cleaning up in the kitchen when something small but unsettling happened. As she stood at the counter, a tissue dispenser subtly slid across the surface on its own. She paused, a little startled, and aggressively told it to go away. Then she reached over, pulled a tissue from it, used it, and placed the dispenser back in the same spot. Almost immediately, it slid again in the exact same direction, same slight movement. She froze, clearly unnerved, and just stared at it for a second before stepping away. Afterwards, she told her husband what had happened, and they both agreed it felt more deliberate this time, like whatever's in the house was testing boundaries, or making sure they knew it hadn't really left. With the ghost seemingly interacting with both parents now, the family is back in the same place they were before, uncertain, a little on edge, and seriously considering bringing in someone who knows what they're dealing with. Chamos is the name of a YouTube channel with over 1.5 million subscribers, and in the video that I am about to show you, they caught something unreal. One day, they decided that they were going to visit a haunted location called the Abandoned Hospital of Cambay, and they all believed that this place truly was a hellhole. Little did they know this theory would be proved so easily. All the way through the night, terrible things happened, but the people on the mission were extremely brave and knew a ghost wouldn't harm them. This is the most frightening thing that was captured.
Viu?
Não queria lembrar.
Não queria lembrar, eu entendi alguma coisa, a mulher de branco.
Mulher de branco? Tem uma mulher de branco aqui que vaga nesse local? Ó, olha só.
O cara tá estourado, ele tá aqui perto.
É, cara do céu, velho.
O cara tá estourado, ele tá aqui perto.
É, cara do céu, velho.
Just as they were discussing a white ghost that haunted the walls of this place, the man behind the camera panned to the side, and some sort of apparition could be seen taking cover. The truth is, we will never know if this was the exact ghost they were discussing at the time, but this event was rather frightening regardless. William Davies had only discovered his house was haunted about a week ago, and ever since then he'd been dealing with constant, unexplained activity. Objects shifting, doors creaking without reason, and strange noises at all hours had started to wear him down. After enduring a full week of this, he finally decided he needed proof, not just for peace of mind, but to help convince others that something really was going on.
Nothing that's supposed to happen. Whoa. I want to see this impressive newspaper come off the shelf. and get right back. Go on then. Press it. Ooh, but you know, how is it old? How is that possible? Strange choice of newspaper, though.
He set up his phone and started talking aloud, encouraging whatever was in the house to show itself. After a tense pause, a folded newspaper sitting on the edge of a nearby table suddenly dropped to the floor on its own, with no breeze or visible reason for the movement. William jumped slightly, not out of fear, but out of validation. This was exactly what he needed. Afterwards, he shared the footage with close friends and even reached out to a local paranormal group for advice. While he's still not sure what exactly he's dealing with, the moment marked a shift. He no longer feels like he's imagining things, and now he's not facing it alone.